Well, good Monday morning and welcome in to the Real Monica Adams Show. I hope you had a great weekend, a little rocking and rolling if you were living to the south. I was talking to people that live in Lake St. Louis and Wentzville and Troy, and I was like, so did you have any damage? How was the weather? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Yes, depending on where you live, you may have had hail, you may have had strong winds and showers. Others, nope, nothing at all. So we're going to talk to Beckett about that and what is to come. Sounds like we could have a repeat of what some of you experienced, maybe coming up on Wednesday. So we'll get the weather underway for you for our Missouri, our Illinois area. Of course, we are far reaching outside of the immediate area where we are throughout the United States and even into other countries. So if you are watching live and you are outside of our area, let us know where you're watching from. We always like to know where we're reaching outside of our immediate area. We've got some news you can use that affects all of us. And then we get into our topic of the day. And today we're going to give you some inspiration. Obviously, none of us ever want to experience loss. But when that loss happens, what do we all here continue to do to keep that memory alive? We're going to remember a teenager whose life was lost, but the years since he's been gone and the amount of love from the community and what he's able to do from above to keep his memory alive is pretty powerful. We'll be talking about that for you in just a bit. Let's get things underway, though. I'm not going to do the weather. We're going to throw that over to our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, with a segment we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
And he's just back in town, actually. Traveled back. We were telling you on Friday that he was in Memphis on his way to Mississippi. So let's first of all say good morning. Beckett, how are you?
Good morning, how are you?
Fantastic. So tell me about the symposium. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. We got down there on Saturday. It actually got shortened just to Saturday because of the storms expected on Sunday, but it was still just a great time. Saw some amazing people that I saw last time. I met some new people as well, and there were a lot of great presentations as well on severe weather.
Did anybody say they want to hire you right away?
Not yet.
Not yet, but he's making amazing connections for sure. Yeah, I was a little worried about you because what we were talking about in our immediate area, I then heard that there was an ice storm that affected people from Tennessee all the way to Michigan. So we're talking about a lot, of course, in Southeast Asia. Our prayers continue to go out. 1,700 now have lost their lives when we're talking about an earthquake. So again, up above, there's a lot of things happening in our world. So here in our immediate area, again, I was mentioning, Beckett, that some of us saw hail and some of us saw some strong winds, but others that were to the north, not so much. Are we going to see something similar to that later on this week?
Yeah, we're looking at a very similar event actually with the two main threats on Wednesday and Wednesday morning to noontime, really. So it's going to be a little bit earlier. Damaging winds and hail will be the two main threats again.
So obviously what I want you to do is keep an eye to Beckett's two pages that he's most active on. One is on YouTube, and you can see it on the bottom of his graphics. The other is on X, and that way he'll be able to let you know, because a lot of you say that this is where you get your weather from, and I like to hear that. So let's go ahead and let him do it for our weather for today and through the rest of the week. Beckett, take it away.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now, we got a temperature of around 41 degrees, dew point at 29, and it's pretty gusty winds out there, northwest wind 15 miles per hour. Hour by hour forecast, 7 a.m. this morning, around 40. Then as we head into the afternoon, we're going to be more around average for today's high, just getting up to around 50 by 1 p.m. We will keep warming up from there, though. Tonight, 53 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and then we see those sunny skies persist into, well, the sun won't be up, but those clear skies around 8 p.m., 50 degrees, 10 p.m., 45 degrees. Now, tomorrow's forecast, we're going to keep with some cloud cover as we head into the day, increasing cloud cover, actually, mostly cloudy skies in the morning, and then as we head into the afternoon, a high of around 60. So looking at our severe weather threat for Wednesday, we do have a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather. That does include St. Louis and points south and a couple areas to the north and west of the city. So that's a pretty substantial risk this far out. So of course, I'm going to continue to watch this, and I likely will come back on Wednesday to detail the threats and the timing for this. But for right now, it does look like in the morning, and the largest threats will be hail and damaging winds. Now, we are going to have a lot of rain this week. So this is a projected amounts for by the end of this week. This is how much rain we could have. 4 inches of rain possible this week in St. Louis. And as you head south of the city, that's where we get even up to 10 inches of rain down there in the Boot Heel. So we're going to have a lot of rain this week. And looking at the 7-day forecast again today, high of around 56, a little bit cooler than average. Tomorrow around average 64, and mostly cloudy skies for both of these days. Wednesday, of course, that's our severe weather threat. Very warm as well, 78 degrees. We cool down Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All of those days are going to be rain threats. That's why we're looking at up to 5 inches of rain here in St. Louis. And then finally that rain gets out of here by Sunday. But a lot of rain and severe storms on the way this week.
Obviously, stay weather aware. We're in that season. Again, April coming in, and we're looking at showers galore. So thank you again, Beckett, so much for always keeping us safe. And I'm glad you're back home and glad you have a wonderful time.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
All right, Beckett Moore. Again, remember to follow him on X and on YouTube to keep you weather aware. All right, we're going to get into our news you can use, and then stay tuned for a very inspirational hour. We start off with a St. Louis officer. It was actually a very busy one for our officers, both in the city and in the county. The latest, I am glad to be able to bring you good news on this as far as the condition of the officer, but that officer was struck and injured by a fleeing suspect's vehicle overnight. It happened in the North St. Louis area. According to police, it happened about 12:40 in the morning. An officer was interrupting a large number of vehicles driving recklessly at 9th, and one of the vehicles fled after the officers attempted a traffic stop. While trying to disable the fleeing vehicle with the spike strips, the vehicle struck a marked SUV near Peck Street and Carter Avenue as that officer was exiting. It was a marked police SUV. The injured officer was taken to the hospital for treatment and has now been discharged. The suspect, a convicted felon, has been taken into custody. So our thoughts and prayers as that officer continues to recover. I'm not sure if you saw this over the weekend, but Richard Chamberlain passed away, a phenomenal actor at the age of 90, TV actor who starred in Dr. Kildare. Richard Chamberlain died Saturday night and happened in Hawaii, complications following a stroke, according to his publicist. Of course, you could drop any comments that you want in about the many acting roles that he had over the years. I mean, there's too many for us to say, but again, thoughts and prayers going out to the family, and thank you for what he provided to us on the big screen and on the small screen as well. Well, this is an unfortunate story. There was a hiker that was first they were able to pull him out, and they were trying to revive this hiker after he was at Camelback Mountain. Unfortunately, the hiker died after being rescued, and the man died after he was rescued from the Phoenix Mountain Hiking Trail. Technical rescue teams from Phoenix and Tempe were called to Camelback Mountain's Echo Canyon trailhead for reports of a hiker experiencing a medical emergency. Crews ascended the trail, found the victim with family members near the summit. He was reported as unconscious and not breathing. A Phoenix police and fire helicopter was requested. The man was airlifted to an ambulance at the mountain's base, then rushed to the hospital in extremely critical condition. On Tuesday, a Phoenix fire spokesperson confirmed that the man did unfortunately die. His name has still not been released. And this is the largest seize that has ever existed with regards to a dog fighting case. This is actually tied to an ex-NFL player. The latest information, nearly 200 dogs seized from this ex-NFL dog fighting case. Former NFL player LaShawn Johnson, if you recognize that name, LaShawn was a running back who played for the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Giants from 1994 to 1999. And that former player has been indicted for allegedly operating a large dog fighting venture that resulted in authorities seizing 190 dogs, considered the most ever taken from one person in a federal dog fighting investigation. And Johnson has been charged with possessing the pit bull type dogs for use in an animal fighting venture and for selling and transporting and delivering a dog for use in an animal fighting venture as well. The dogs were taken from Johnson in October of last year. He allegedly ran this operation in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, according to recent court documents. In other news, listen to this. We've been talking about recall after recall. This one has to do with jewelry. And if you have young girls, they may have some of these in their rooms. So you want to keep an eye on this. 224,000 jewelry kits recalled due to hazardous substances. The Consumer Product Safety Commission announced the recall. The recall was announced because the kits contain liquid resin amounts above federal safety levels. This is actually from LaRose Industries. They're recalling the Crazy Art GameX Gel 2 Gem Jewelry Kit. So take a look around your houses, see if they have this. They include 10 different types of kits and the refill pack. The kits were sold nationwide at stores and online. Liquid resin, by the way, can cause skin and eye and respiratory irritations if it was touched or ingested or inhaled. Fortunately, so far, there are no reports of any injuries. Well, I think that Becca would enjoy this one. Auroras are being spotted on Neptune for the very first time. Take a look at this. Pretty cool. If he's still watching, new images from the James Webb Space Telescope showing auroras around Neptune for the very first time. These images could not be seen by earlier telescopes or by spacecrafts. The near-infrared spectrograph on the James Webb Space Telescope captured that glow. In a study published on Wednesday in the journal Nature Astronomy, scientists say unique auroras are visible on either side of Neptune's equator. The discovery will allow scientists to study aspects of Neptune that have previously been out of reach. Pretty cool, eh? Well, we've been telling you about this over the last few months, Mom's Deli having to close, but now we were hoping or crossing our fingers that they were going to find a new location. Are you familiar with the location, the area that's called Soha? There's a lot of businesses in that area. Well, now Mom's Deli is announcing their move a few weeks after announcing the closure there was a lease dispute. That's what caused that. Mom's Deli is planning a move to a new nearby location in the South St. Louis Hills neighborhood. So the owner posted about the move in a Facebook group on Wednesday afternoon, writing, "Great news, everybody. Mom's Deli has secured a new location, 5425 Hampton Avenue, taking a few months to get everything the way they need it." And she said, "As soon as I have an open date, I will let everyone know. Can't wait to get back open and see everyone soon." Again, a wonderful place. And if you've never been there before, they have the most incredible sandwiches. So can't wait for that to open. We'll have to go and do a little grand opening celebration with them. Let's get some sports news. The Cardinals, first of all, St. Louis Cardinals with a big win, not just a big win, but a sweep of the Minnesota Twins. So love the way they're kicking off the season. 9-2 was the final. Now today they're in action at 6:45. It's the Angels and the Cardinals. Same two teams tomorrow and same time at 6:45. I actually was watching this game. I had tickets that were offered actually here with a bunch of us that work together at Adventure Unknown. And there were 4 tickets that the guy had available. They were free. And I just kept thinking, I don't want to get stuck in the rain. And there was a rain delay to this. I was hoping that would give us some time to lick the wounds and be able to score a goal, but it did not happen. The St. Louis City SC team losing to Austin. The final was 1-0. Sporting KC and St. Louis are in action on Saturday. The kickoff will be at 7:30, and then St. Louis plays Columbus on Sunday, April 13th, if you are looking ahead. The brackets are set. Are you watching the Final Four? My husband went to Auburn, so he's looking forward to continuing to watch Auburn play. So we'll keep an eye on that. I know a lot of you haven't really dropped much in with regards to basketball, but the Final Four finally set. So do you want Duke? Do you want Auburn? Do you want Florida, Houston? Those are your Final Four teams. And I was looking at the National Day of calendar. Didn't get a chance to throw this one in for you quick enough, but today is National Crayon Day. So go ahead and color out of the lines. National Prom Day. Yeah, that's right around the corner. National Clams on the Half Shell Day. National Bunsen Burner Day. And National Tater Day. That's what you have on tap for today. All right, we are going to take our break. When we come back, we are going to talk about a young man who lost his life back in 2012, but it's what he's able to continue to do. We always say we don't want to see somebody's life end for naught. Well, 14 years old, way too early to lose your life. We're going to talk about a pulmonary embolism that took him so suddenly. Jake Siebert is who we're going to talk about. Jacob, JTS Fly High Scholarship, more importantly, is what we're going to talk about moving forward. We're going to have 2 guests that will discuss his life and how so many are being affected as they continue on their journey. And these scholarships that are being given in his honor. A big lacrosse fan. We're going to talk about our immediate area. If you are in the Seckman or maybe the Fox school districts, maybe you know or you heard of Jacob Siebert. We're going to talk to his mother, Tracy, and his aunt, Laura. They will be in the white chairs when we return.
Carroll House Furniture Homes look the best because of our free design service. Our designers please your taste.
Let's reimagine your room with 50 brand name choices.
We'll create a 3D design with a 360 view for your room.
Free design services are just the beginning. Free 0% financing, fast free delivery and setup, and the guaranteed lowest prices in the country with no stipulations.
You'll get a perfect custom floor plan for your new dream room.
Carroll House Design, because you like nice things.
Hello everyone, Joe Thomas here with Weingarten Vineyard here. Just had a great day at the set of The Real Monica Adams Show. I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest word for the day for me is passion. You can see with her craft of how passionate that she is to provide a different view from what she had done in her past career, now in a new career. She made today so easy, and it was easy for me as well because we share that passion for what we do. When it's doing interviews on set, giving a different view on life essentially and different experiences for you guys. Today could not have gone better. I most definitely encourage you guys to continue to tune in to her shows, and maybe you'll see me back again. You will see me back again. Sorry, Monica.
And welcome back. Thanks again for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. I'll look at some of the comments, anything that you may have responded to with regards to our news you can use. More importantly, I want you to comment from here forward as you hear a story about a young man taken too soon. But what's he doing from heaven, right? It's all about how they continue to give back, these angels that we have up there. We never want to lose someone, but when that happens, it's what can we do to move forward to honor them? And boy, has the community done just that. We're going to remember the life of Jacob Siebert, and we're going to do that through so many things, pictures and stories. We're even going to show you a hilarious video that made me laugh over and over and over again. So yes, there will be a bevy of emotions. That's life. And as a community, I ask you, if you knew Jacob or you know this family, drop in comments to remember him, or just as you always do, lift each other up and show kindness. It's the greatest thing that we can do together. All right, let me introduce my guest. Once again, Tracy Beck-Presson, as well as Laura Beck, who I've known for a little while. Thank you both for coming in this morning. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So the story itself is a hard one, but it's all this amazing aspect of what's happened since he lost his life. So let's go back. Let's talk about Jacob. Jacob, tell me who he was as a young boy.
Oh my gosh, he was adventurous and funny and just lived life to the fullest. He loved to ride his four-wheeler. He loved to hunt.
Skateboard.
He skateboarded, loved his skateboard, loved making skateboard wax for his skateboard.
Skateboard wax?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, YouTube videos.
Oh, really?
Yes, on making skateboard wax. Yeah.
So, by the way, if somebody wants to know more about him and see some of these videos, is he on? Is it just Jacob Siebert, or how would they find him on YouTube?
I believe it's Jacob Siebert.
And it's Siebert.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So look for that, and maybe you'll see this YouTube video we're going to show you in just a second about Paul and his brother.
So his brother's now 21 and a junior at Missouri State, but I think he still remembers the filming of that video. Jacob was athletic, and he was funny, and he was beautiful. He was just a beautiful soul. He was the kid who would befriend, the bully, because usually the bullies don't have friends. And I remember a specific time in second grade, he was at Antonia Elementary, and he came home with a black eye. because he befriended a bully and the bully did not want a friend. So he just couldn't understand why this young man didn't want to be his friend. So that was his heart. Then when he passed, it was just very sudden. He played Seckman football. He was a freshman. And last day of practice, took a hit on the field, came home that night, and just said he didn't feel right. So we thought, took a hit kind of on his side. He gave him some ibuprofen that evening, and then Saturday went to his friends. It was the weekend before Halloween, and they were having a Halloween party. Sunday, we ended up taking him to urgent care, and they checked him out, thought maybe it was his kidneys, and that was fine. Monday, we took him to his actual doctor, and she checked him and said, gave him some muscle relaxers and gave him a little something for the pain and said, if it still looks bad, maybe take him to the emergency room. And he passed away that evening.
My goodness.
At home. His dad is a paramedic, and so he had a first responder on the scene immediately. But the doctors and nurses that tried to save him were absolutely amazing. We were at the time, St. Anthony's, which is now Mercy South. Sure. They even had a helicopter waiting to transport him. But he had come and gone, and they had brought him back so many times that he was just gone at that point. So
I am so sorry. Again, for someone who I wish I would have known him, because it sounds like he just lifted everybody up, and probably when he walked into a room just lit everybody up.
I heard that from so many people at his memorial service, so many of his friends, just his smile. He knew when you needed a smile or a hug. But he had a bunch of passions, and really lacrosse, as much as he enjoyed playing football, lacrosse was where his heart was. Yeah. So his dad brought the sport of lacrosse to Jefferson County back in 95.
Yeah. Oh, how cool is that?
He started the program at Fox High School. And the crazy thing was the kids that came out to play, who are now in their mid to late 40s, almost all of them have come back in some way to give back to the program. They've come back to coach or to just be a part of it. But after Jake passed away, my younger son, Sam, had some friends, and their parents came to us and said anonymously they would like to create a $500 scholarship in Jake's name that would continue until he would have graduated high school, which would have been 2016. And they did that every year, and that was given to a lacrosse player. So in 2016, one of the other coaches, Rob Nash, took that over. And by then we had two lacrosse teams. Fox had a team and Seckman had a team. And so he would host a game every year where these two teams, kind of a rivalry, would play each other. And with that, he would raise money with T-shirt sales and then match donations and create two scholarships, then one for a player from Fox and one from Seckman.
Again, and here's the thing, and we spoke yesterday on the phone. For a lot of people, they hear that and go, oh, okay, so the scholarship, it's for a 4-year college. No, we're going to talk about all of this. And one of the things that Jacob was big about is helping everyone. I mean, you heard that in who he was as a human being. So why would he want to limit that? He wouldn't. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Jacob Siebert. You're seeing a ton of pictures that we're dropping in. We're going to talk about how you can apply for the application. We'll talk about an event that's coming up this weekend that you can be involved with. But it obviously, you can hear that the community has come out big time for him. So again, his mother, Tracy, his aunt, Laura. Aunt Laura, tell me what you remember most and what you know that Jacob is still giving to our world today.
Well, Jacob was my buddy. He was my first nephew. Our mother passed when I was 16. And he was 17 when I was 17 when he was born. And so she didn't have, she actually lost both of her mother-in-law and my mom in the same year. So she had me. So we were tight. Right before he passed, he called me and actually asked about iPhones. He wanted to know, if I thought it was good, and I just remember getting off the phone going, oh my gosh, he's asking my opinion. It's finally happening. But yeah, Jacob was my buddy, and he, to this day, so they made a Facebook page for him. Yep. And the girl asked me to be I don't know, the person who runs
Like
it,
the
I guess.
administrator
Yeah,
of it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. So it was really cool because the kids always talked about, they would say fly high, and that just stuck. And I don't know, Jacob just touched so many people. I know still to this day, people come up to my sister and tell their story about how Jacob connected and gave him that time that no one else would. And it's just really neat.
That warms your heart, right?
Oh my goodness.
Well, and as a mother, you have to be, you all are hoping when you have children that they grow up to be incredible human beings. Some of them get a little wayward. You try to get them back on their track and back on the journey that they belong on, and things can pull them in different directions. But it sounds like anybody that was out there doing the negative things, he was trying to put them back on track. He was the one trying to bring back together. And he still is, obviously, today. So do you have any silly, funny, favorite memories of him?
Oh my gosh, yes, there's a lot. If you saw that YouTube video,
Well,
that
let's go ahead and show it. So we've got a
It's
video.
hilarious.
This is Jacob and his brother Sam, right?
Yes.
And what are their ages in this video?
Let's see. Sam in this video is probably about 5 or 6, I think.
And
No,
Jacob's
that had to be a little bit older because I think Jacob's about 13.
We have to see the year of the video, actually.
Yeah,
That would
so
just
Sam's
sum it up.
probably closer to 7.
okay. Look at this. Okay, first of all, Sam was okay, right?
He was okay.
Well,
How far did he bounce?
Far. In the audio, you hear Sam go, "Ow!" Like, and then Jake go, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
Exactly.
just like the sound is just like hilarious.
I don't think he expected him to bounce that far.
No. Well, any of you, let's show it again.
He's telling him, "Run at it, run at it." And of course, being the little guy, he's like, "Okay, okay."
So look,
Jake."
is that one of those fitness balls? That's what it looks like. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like a yoga fitness ball if you're all familiar with those. And so you obviously had it inflated the way it's supposed to be because a lot of them are deflated and people are like just squashed to the ground when they're trying to do their exercises. I expected him to just kind of go into it and they like kind of stick together, which he probably did as well, like maybe bounce a little bit. Like he flew to the other. He's flying high. He flew. He flew to the other side of the room. I was afraid I didn't know it was behind him, but I was like, I hope he didn't hurt himself.
It was a wall.
Did he hit his back of his head? Or
He was fine. He was,
He bounced off?
Sam's very resilient. Yes.
Well, of course, he had the older brother going, "Oh, you're fine.
Exactly,
Come on,
dust it off.
who
Get up.
cares? Don't
Be
tell
a-
mom and dad."
be a man. Exactly. Don't get us in trouble. Okay, let's do it again.
Right,
Let's
exactly.
video it again. If you're just tuning in and you're like, who is this we're talking about? We're talking about Jacob Siebert. Again, that's the aspect of life. I wanted to show that. And as we were going through picking different pictures and videos, Tracy said, "Did you want this video?" And I was like, "Yes," because we want to laugh. And if we tear up, it's okay. And obviously to lose someone at such a young age, he was 14 or 14.
14.
So he passed in 2012. And so here we are, 13, what month did he pass?
October.
Okay, so 12 and a half years ago, but it's what he's doing moving forward that is just truly amazing. And we'll look at some comments because I know a lot of you are probably signed on maybe from the Seckman or the Fox area. If you knew him, you knew what he did, or maybe you have a great memory of something, whether you're live now or maybe you get a chance to watch this later, do me a favor and take this right now and share it or text people and tell them, "Hey, we're remembering Jacob. Remember he played with my boy," or "Remember what he did for in school," or "Remember what he did with this family." Drop it in because we'd love to see that. Maybe some stories that both Laura and Tracy have never heard before. That's what I love about this platform. So right now we are live on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Rumble. So we can take this far and wide and let's take his memory even higher. Let's let him do from above, as the angel that he is, what he wants to do with work here on earth. You feel that, right? That he is an angel?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
I have him.
I
I have him with me.
Oh, you do?
So when Jake was the Tuesday he passed, his father, I have to just tell this little story.
Please.
His father went into the bedroom and he was actually in their bedroom because it was on the main floor just so they could keep an eye on him, right? And when he went in there, he heard Jacob say, "Should I meet you at the big cross or the little cross?"
Oh, wow.
And that is when my brother-in-law just reacted like he knew Jacob. And at that point, that's when he started to go like,
Well, he said he walked in and Jake was just staring at a blank spot on the wall when he said
Mhm.
that. And he said that he kind of stopped to listen, and he like, did I just hear what I heard?
Right.
And then Jake smiled and said, okay, I'll meet you at the big cross.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
So
gave me chills.
our mom, right? She had passed in 98. Jake was born in 98. And so she died June, what was it? June
30th.
June 30th, and Jake was born May 19th that year. And she said, I will be here for my first grandson. So he was born in May, she died in June. And so I truly believe it was, well, Jesus for one, but also my mom right there.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. All right, we are going to talk about the many scholarships that have already been given and those that are still to come. And it's just very powerful. And we'll tell you exactly how could you get one of these scholarships? How can you apply? What is on tap this weekend? And how can you, as this incredible community that is formed, and I love all of you that call yourselves Monica's Maniacs, start going crazy and start helping out and sharing this far and wide. We'll have more with Tracy and Laura when we return.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Well, hello, my friends. My name is John O'Leary. I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was an amazing experience for me and hopefully for the viewers and listeners as well. What I found sitting down with Monica is the idea of being real is maybe something we use for social media or website or to separate us from others, but it may not be something you experience very often in the real world. Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with our viewers and our listeners. And through her authenticity and through her honesty and vulnerability, I followed. It was an incredible conversation. We were real about struggle, real about life, real about endurance, real about family, real about faith, and real about the truth that the foundation is firm, that God is still God, that there's reason for hope, and that the best is yet to come. So for those of us who occasionally struggle with being real or being filled with hope or being renewed in a season of struggle, I can't tell Monica and her viewers, listeners, and producers thank you enough for allowing me to be real during the hour together. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. Today is your day. What a gift it is. Live inspired and stay real.
Welcome back, and thanks again for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. If you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere. I'd love for you to be able to stay on. I know there's a lot that takes you in different directions. You have to go to work, you got to run the kids to school. I would tell you to come back to this for sure if you can, and then share this. We always look at the shares. Please share with as many people as you possibly can. All the families, maybe from Seckman or Fox in the Jefferson County area, but far-reaching. Yes, we might be in Missouri or just across the river in Illinois. Maybe you remember this story. Maybe somehow he's touched your life. We're going to look at comments because that's one of the biggest part of this show, the way you communicate. And I saw a lot of you dropping in the Thornbirds and the different things about Richard Chamberlain, saying good morning, saying go Blues. I said, yes, we'll always take a look at your comments and I'll look at those afterwards. We're going to move now into the comments about Jacob. If you're just tuning in, Jacob Siebert is who we're remembering. Lost him in 2012, but it's what he's doing from heaven with his angels above as well, moving in so many directions to help so many moving forward. We're talking again with his mother, Tracy, and his aunt, Laura. So somebody said, Beck family is amazing. Do you know Karen Spink?
Yes.
We do.
All right, Karen.
Karen,
a big
Lovely soul.
part of the fundraiser, her and her family, yes.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the fundraiser. We're going to talk about how you can help out an event this weekend. Rose said Jacob sounded like he was ahead of his time. What a great soul. Yeah, without knowing him very much so, he sounded like an old soul.
Yes, absolutely.
I love old souls. Jeffrey Spink says, Jake talked Sam into rolling down a hill inside a trash barrel while the team was at practice. They took turns rolling down the hill the rest of the practice. See? So make us laugh and remember things. And you remember that?
I do remember that. So that is when their dad started the lacrosse team. So the boys were young.
Okay.
And they would go to practice with him every day. And yes, they would roll down the hill in a trash can.
Danielle Schmidt says, we love you. Fly high, Jake. And Linda says, that story gave me chills and tears too. Hits close to home. A similar thing happened with my father-in-law when he passed away. It's eerie because when you said that, when my dad was in the hospital, Laura, there was a young girl that is a cousin of mine, and she had passed, and then just right before my dad, actually, and then there was one of my young cousins. She said, everybody, it's okay. I mean, this from a young child. This is where you also know it's an old soul, and everyone's like crying and by the bedside, and it was like, my cousin that had already passed. They said, "What do you mean it's okay? How do you know? No, we know it's going to be okay." And she goes, "No, it is going to be okay because this cousin of mine, she said that she's got him," and we were like, "What?" And so, right? Like she had talked to her and said that it's okay. He can enter the gates and he'll be okay because she'll be there waiting for him.
Oh, I love that.
Right? It's just, if you don't believe, I mean, come on, there's a story.
My dad actually had a moment like that with mom before mom passed. She was home on hospice in the living room in one of the hospital beds. And he said she just slowly looked around at the ceiling of the room and smiled and said, "Are you all here for me?"
Yeah. I mean, again, how many children have you all gotten today? It's children, and they also say animals. Like animals will see angels and kids will see angels. And you'll sit there and go, what are they looking at?
Dog. Oh, I'm just like hanging out with her on the couch and I'm like, what are you looking at? Now I'm just like, is the angels around me?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right.
But at first I was like, okay. And then she would like her eyes.
And then they look back at you like, don't you see this? Yes. And I'm sure many times it's been Jacob trying to visit. That's the other thing that people always say, well, how come they're not visiting me? Well, sometimes you're not open to it and you have to allow your path to be open. Well, that path, by the way, is just long of people that Jacob has affected. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Jacob Siebert again and this JTS Fly High Scholarship. So you have incredible human beings that donated in the very beginning, that started this.
Yes.
And now look what it's done ever since. So let's talk about this and let's talk about what's coming up this weekend. So the Scholarship Foundation itself, JTS Fly High Scholarship Foundation.
Yes.
And from that point to now, how many scholarships have you been able to give away?
Oh, yes. Let's see. We do 6, 12, 18.
She's like, you're making me do math.
We've given out, I think we're in the vicinity of 20.
Wow.
We're in the vicinity of 20. We are totaling now, we give out 10,000 a year.
Fantastic.
So we're at about 40,000, I think.
But you also
we sponsor kids. So lacrosse is a club sport, and it can be expensive, similar to hockey in cost. So
all that equipment.
So we buy equipment for the teams. We buy game balls. We buy nets. We buy little things to kind of keep the costs down so that more kids can afford to play. We sponsor kids who maybe their families just can't afford it, but these kids want to play. They love the sport. It's an old Indian game called the medicine game. It's supposed to be healing. There's a lot of history with the game. And it's just when these kids start playing it, they fall in love with it. So to be able to do that, to sponsor camps for some of the kids, to pay for some of the kids who might not have an opportunity, to be able to step in and help these groups and for Fox and Seckman keep their dues down, to make it more affordable, that to give out the scholarships, that it's a lot of work, but the reward that comes with it is absolutely amazing.
Right. And for you, I'm sure it doesn't, yes, it might be a lot of work, but I don't think you probably would say it feels like work because you know that you're doing his work.
You just got an email a couple weeks ago
I did. I did. We sponsored a kid this year, one of the players, and I don't want to give names out, but I got not only an email from the player, but also from the player's family. Just the gratefulness, the gratitude. They were in a really tough spot. And the family mentioned in the email that this happening for them was the beginning of a chain of more positive things that happened for them.
Oh, I love that.
She got a better job, the family's, just so many things. And to know that his spirit carries on and that my beautiful boy had the opportunity to play a part in that.
Does that make it a little easier, Tracy? I mean, you obviously want your boy back. And again, these are the things that we're all faith-based, and sometimes people struggle. I mean, here's a mother who lost her child, and some people would say, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can believe in a God that would take my child. And that's what gets hard for a lot of people. I'm sure you understand that. You struggle with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I struggled. But, I think for him, those words, going to the cross. I mean, when I do struggle, I do think back on that memory, and I think back about Mom and the angels, and I know that he's out there. The fundraisers sometimes, some years get a little harder because in some ways it's just a memory that he's not here. It's a reminder that he's not really here anymore in person. But at the same time, the people that are involved, the family, the friends who work tirelessly to make this happen once a year, it's his memory that's living on. And my gratefulness, I wish there was a word bigger than grateful. I wish there was some other way other than just saying thank you to the people that come, to the people that donate, to the people that help raise funds for this, to the people that are involved, for the kids that apply. I'm grateful to be a part of this community and for the support we've gotten.
And we always say we couldn't be anything in life if it wasn't for this incredible amount of people that surround themselves around us, which just sounds like it's growing and growing and growing. And I hope it grows even more. So we're going to tell everyone how they can apply and then also what the event is coming up this weekend. Stephanie just said, it sounds like Jake was amazing. God's blessings. Makes me sad. Thanks for all you do for the sports. Rose, I remember seeing a photo of Jacob showing his school spirit, coloring his teeth.
So his freshman year for football, there was a local dentist in town that made them all mouth guards. And the colors are blue and yellow. So he had a blue and yellow mouth guard and forgot. In fact, funny thing is, he was not one to cuss. But after those pictures, they did the team pictures, he stepped away to talk to someone and realized he still had his mouth guard in. And he said, oh, I left my mouth guard in. So all the pictures we have, he's got this blue and yellow smile.
That must be the one that Rose saw.
That's the one.
Sarah says, being the oldest nephew, Jake was the hero to all of his cousins. We love and miss him always. The boy had all of our hearts. That's from Sarah. Absolutely.
Her sister-in-law.
Yep. So again, if you're just tuning in, the JTS Fly High Scholarship Foundation. There is an event coming up this weekend. You want to tell us more about that and how people can maybe get involved?
Yes, we are doing, it's called Show Me the Money.
Show me the money.
And it is fun. It's exciting. It's fast, but not, think of bingo, right? Very exciting. We have 50-50. We have pot shots. We have live auctions. We have baskets. We have, everything. And not only that, just a bunch of good people there to do, just to donate and have fun. It's from 7 to
about 11.
I will be doing the live auction.
Oh, really?
Gonna give Reed Lowe a run for his money.
What?
I said I'm going to give Reed Lowe a run for his money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to go, $5.
No, don't say 5. Say I'm going to start right now at 500. You better give me 500. And we're going to go 6.
The whole
learn from this. So we all, obviously Reed started somewhere, I started somewhere. We all do auctioning. And the more I have done them, the more just jump up and then tease them a little bit. And then you think you have to come back down and you won't. You'll be able to jump back up again. So a lot of people, when they start the auctioning, they'll say, okay, who wants to start with 250? Okay, how about 275? And you just go up in like 25. Don't go, okay, 375. Try to jump up 100.
Yeah.
And then see what happens. I'm asking all of you to be generous, of course. So tell them again where it is, the time it is.
The Arnold VFW hall.
I think it's post 2593.
Yes. VFW
on Church
Post-
Road.
Yep. 2593.
2593. Yeah, it's located at 2301 Church Road. And we've got the information on the screen. There's a QR code that's on that flyer. What does that take them to? Do you know?
The website.
That takes them to the website?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Okay,
the
and then
square-
the square
Yes,
one, right?
you either donate or to purchase tickets for the evening of.
And tickets will be available all the way up till the day of? Can they purchase
The
or before?
online ticket sales and tonight at midnight.
Oh, okay.
But tickets will be available at the door.
Okay, that's what I'm, okay.
They'll be a little more expensive at the door,
Sure.
so you're better off on getting them ahead of time.
or you just give more money, right? Then we give more money
There
there.
you
So
go.
either tonight. I thought there was an event that wrapped up tonight. So tonight online, and Jenny, by the way, does have the link dropping in for you of how you can purchase tickets tonight and get involved in this. You can sponsor a round, and so I am doing that for you. So,
Yay.
okay, so I want to sponsor a round, and there's a lot of people I've been looking at the Facebook page, and I love each person's like, thank you for this person, thank you for this person. So the community's definitely come out to sponsor. Do you have all the rounds sponsored, or do you need
Yes.
more?
You are
You're the last one.
I'm the last one.
you're
Yay!
round 11, by the way.
I like it. I like odd numbers, by the way, so I'm glad I'm not even here. So round 11 is on the Real Monica Adams team. So again, it's going to be Saturday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah,
Well,
doors
doors-
open at 6.
And then all this show me the money starts at 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And again, it's at Arnold VFW Post 2593, the 4th annual. So how much money has been raised over the last 3 years? Do you know?
We've raised about 75,000.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal for this weekend about what you're hoping to raise with this good auctioneer here?
I just put it in God's hands, to be honest
Yeah,
with you. I have no expectations, but just it happens. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just walking with them and
How
people
many
give.
How many
and it's-
people come out to this?
Well, you sell like 200.
Well, we've already sold 200 tickets. We have about 300. So we only have about 100 tickets left for purchase.
And is that maxed out?
That's
at 300?
maxed out.
So again, we can get another 100 people that can come to this. A lot of fun. So yes, bingo's a big thing. Music bingo's become a big thing. People just love to have fun. I can guarantee you that it's going to be loud there.
It
and
is.
laughter and having fun. Raffle baskets. Do you need anything else donated to you from like an auction standpoint, or is that wrapped up?
I think we pretty much wrapped. She and I yesterday were about 8 hours into it, just getting all
Baskets.
the baskets numbered and getting them all
Cellophane.
organized. Yes.
Hair
Well,
dryers.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
she's like, this is so
String.
satisfying. I'm like, okay, we're gonna let you do that.
You're like, okay. So again, they have a live auction. What the heck is a pot shot?
Well, it's a board. You explain it. You're better at that.
So it's a board that has already got a winning number that's got foil. It's like scratch off lottery.
Okay.
So the winner's already on there, but it's covered. There's 42 circles. And so we've got a couple different donations that we've decided to do on the pot shots. So there's 42 squares. They'll each be a set dollar amount. It might be $10 a square. When the pot shot's full, we scratch it off and we find out who the winner is.
I love it.
So it's a little bit of instant gratification. You're not waiting till the end of the evening to
Right.
win something.
You're just waiting for those all to get filled up.
Well,
Yes.
and with the Show Me the Money, it is much like bingo. It's played with playing cards. So you have 5 playing cards stapled together. That is your quote bingo hand, basically.
it's $1 a round per.
$1 per hand. You can play as many hands as you want per round.
Okay.
It is a 50-50 payout at the end of every round. So people are winning money all
throughout.
night long.
But the pot's still like $250, $300, depending, like how many people are
Yeah.
playing. The half that you win.
Do people give theirs back though?
So I have a rule.
Oh, I was just going to say, because it's what it used to happen. And I hated it sometimes because sometimes people were like, well, I won. And then everybody else would look at them like, you're not going to give that back. And then it became a thing. So are you going to say that you won't allow them?
I don't,
Yep.
and I have not. Since
Yep.
we started this 4 years ago, that is my rule. You cannot give your money back. I do leave a little caveat. if you want to buy something at the live auction at the end of the evening, you're more than welcome to spend your money at the live auction.
Right.
But
don't do it immediate.
I don't want anyone to feel like they're pressured.
Yes.
I've been into a couple of circumstances where you've won and they're yelling, give it back.
I know.
And I thought, well,
I don't want to.
you never know. You know, whoever won might actually need that money. So
I think, you know what, Tracy, that is really, I believe that might have become the norm, because I do a lot of auctioneering and I see that happen. Or we do the fund and need and they say, please, Monica, read this. You cannot give it back. And I was like, okay, I get that. All right, once again, so it's coming up on Saturday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Doors open at 6, and then this all gets underway at 7. It's the Arnold VFW Post 2593. There's the flyer for you. 2301 Church Road, the 4th annual Show Me the Money fundraiser. Again, the 11th round is going to be sponsored by our team. Raffle tickets, 50/50, live auction, the pot shots, and then it is $20 for admission by tonight. Is that correct? And then what will it be at the door?
25.
25. Mm-hmm. And that gives you?
That'll give you soft drinks, soda, water.
Draft beer, I think I heard?
Draft beer, yes.
Unlimited draft beer.
And then if you want to do...
You have an upgrade, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
For $40, you get a wristband, and that's...
unlimited top shelf.
Yes.
There you go. All right. So just give. All right. We're going to take another quick break. We'll see if there's any other comments. Yep. I know. Great rule, right, Julie? We will have more Tracy as well as Laura. And we're remembering the wonderful Jacob Siebert. I'm going to ask I'll give this to you in advance so I don't catch you off guard. I want you to tell me what you think Jacob is feeling from up above that's happened since his passing. Okay. We'll talk about that when we return.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And welcome back. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, that's okay. We're in the wrap up, last 10 minutes or so of the show, but this is one you definitely want to go back and watch and hear about this wonderful teenager that unfortunately lost his life. And that's the thing. We have loss in life. And then it's, what do we do with that? We never want their death to be for naught, right? It's the pain, it's the suffering, it's the emotions, it's the anger. I'm sure you both have gone through all of that. It's the shock of it, first of all, because he was taken so tragically. A pulmonary embolism, is that correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. And so this was back in 2012.
Which is a blood clot in the lung.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then,
because I didn't know what that was.
I unfortunately do, only because of my clotting history that you all know about. So yes, if you didn't know, that's what it is. And sometimes it can be from a hit like he had experienced. There's also the deep vein thrombosis that people talk about when they're traveling. And it's why we're always supposed to be moving. You'll see me move around a lot to keep the legs moving around, doing everything you can to avoid something like that. But this hit coming from him playing in a sport that he absolutely loved, the first member of the Jaguar lacrosse team that he loved so much. And then, so I mentioned going into the break that I was going to ask the question of, since his passing in 2012, what do you think that he would say was the greatest thing that has happened coming out of such a tragedy?
So I truly believe that we are all put here for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that when we've accomplished whatever we've been sent for, that's when we go. 6 months, 14, 30, 50, 80. When we've accomplished that, it's our time. I, about 6 years after Jake's death, ran into someone I hadn't seen in quite some time. and he asked if he could talk to me. Sorry.
Please don't be.
And we sat down. We were at Home Depot, sitting on the display of summer furniture. And he said, I need you to know something. I'm here because your son isn't. He was ready to commit suicide. He had made the plans. He had it all worked out. He was going to do it. He was going to do it that day. And he got the call that Jake had passed away. And it changed his life.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? He saved him.
And so he said, I'm sorry that your Jake's not here, but he saved my life.
Do you still talk to that family?
I have seen him in passing. I know he struggles sometimes with depression, but I never in a million years. I got so many stories when Jake passed, families coming to me and telling me that it reminded them to eat dinner together. Mm-hmm. It reminded them to talk some more. Mm-hmm. It reminded them to be grateful for every day because you don't know what tomorrow brings. But I think as far as the impact, this human is a fantastic human who does so much good in our world and is funny and smart and kind. And the fact that he's still here, mm-hmm. and he's in a position that he helps other people every day.
You got to be proud. You got to be proud of him.
You know, Jake's made an impact on so many people in so many ways. And I miss that kid like crazy, but I see him everywhere. His number was 66. Mm-hmm. It's amazing the places you see number 66. Mm-hmm. It shows up all the time.
And you know, to me, again, you all can believe whatever you want, but when you see things like that, that is them speaking to us. You believe that, right?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
There's the jersey. Oh, let's talk about the jersey, by the way. So you just received this picture just the other night, right?
Last night, I believe. Saturday night, maybe. Yes. So I have a friend of mine. Her son is coaching for the Seckman Jaguar lacrosse team this year, and he was super excited. Seckman has made these jerseys to honor the JTS and Jake's memory for their senior game. So I just thought, when I saw that, it just, again, another level of gratefulness and thankfulness. And yeah, it's amazing that the community, the lacrosse communities, just a caring group of people, just Absolutely. A neat group of people.
And so I'll ask you the same question, Aunt Laura. What if he's talking to us right now, and we'll look at any other comments you want to drop in before we wrap up. What would he say to you that he's proud that you are all doing in his honor?
Oh, well, definitely the foundation. But also, in his honor, Jake's just such a good soul. And I think about him a lot more probably than I talk about, but we just had our little thing. There's so many things I could say that I see him helped, like being there, mm-hmm. especially with my nephew, Sam, his little brother. Mm-hmm. Sam struggled with losing your big brother. Sure. And my son, Carter, who's 21 as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, Sam and Carter, like really close.
Brothers.
Potty trained them. You're like, all right, buddy, go ahead and take him in the bathroom. He's like, that's weird, Laura. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, they want to be like you. So it was devastating for those two boys to have lost their, like my sister Sarah said, like he was a hero to all the kids.
At such a young age. I mean, look at 14-year-old hero, right? And that's what you want. And it sounds like obviously that's what he did. We were just showing a picture of he and his brother. His brother wasn't able to join us today. He's at school where?
He's at Missouri State.
At Missouri State.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about maybe having him call in or maybe having a video. But since he couldn't, what would he say? What would Sam say about his brother?
Oh, Sam is a master of verbs and words. So I think it would be very colorful. I think that
he would say he missed him.
I think first and foremost that he missed his brother 100%. I think he loved his time. I think Jake was his hero. I think Jake showed him a lot of things. There was 5.5 years difference between the boys, which was awesome for me. I got to spend those first 5.5 years with Jake, sent him to kindergarten, and then got my next time, my next 5 years with Sam. Those two are inseparable. Sam just looked up and idolized Jake. And I think he still uses him as a source of inspiration. He still plays lacrosse in college.
Oh, he does?
Oh,
Okay.
he does,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I still love the fact that you all brought that
and they were
into
both
the area.
goalies.
Oh, both goalies.
Both goalies, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's probably what he would say, that he was just still his inspiration.
Still wanting to be like his big brother.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, a few more comments, and then I'm going to let you think about this. So we've got these 100 Days to Freedom books that we do as a devotional at the end of every show. One of them is fear and anxiety, that together. One is anger. One is depression. The overeating one doesn't work. And I'm forgetting one. Hold on. So, or you can just pick a color, which we do sometimes. Shame, anger, fear and anxiety, depression. Okay, I'm going to let you think about that for just a second because we want freedom from those, right? Mia just said, JTS has made such an impact on communities far and wide. You are amazing. So much love. That is from Mia Wigger.
Mm-hmm.
And love you guys so much, Mia said as well. A great rule about not being wanting to give the money back. Angie, who is one of my clients who you do her hair.
Hi, Angie.
She said, we love you, Tracy. Fly high, Jacob, and hugs to you. So again, a hero in so many ways, as we were just saying, a hero to his cousins, a hero to the community, a hero to so many. We mentioned the scholarship. So the scholarship goes to someone on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so how do they apply for that, and when do you make the announcement of when they're giving the scholarships out?
So we give out a total of 6 scholarships totaling $10,000. So back over COVID, the Fox boys team kind of went out of existence. They just didn't have enough participation. So since then, Fox has gotten a girls team.
Oh, I love it.
So Coach Rob Nash runs the girls team. And then we have the Seckman team. So we do 3 scholarships each, 3 for the boys, 3 for the girls. The rules are very simple. It's 2 essay questions. How has lacrosse changed your life, and what does lacrosse mean to you?
Okay.
Then we also do a survey for the coaches, and it's just a 6-question survey. They rate 1 through 5, and that's how I kind of tally. I score a little weighted. I do 70% for the coaches and 30% on the essays. Mm-hmm. I have a scholarship committee. I don't have anything to do with picking the winners. Mm-hmm. Our sister Sarah heads the scholarship committee. Well, she has a group, and it changes every year, and they determine the essays, and then the coaches determine, obviously, with the survey.
And you're seeing, by the way, on the screen, and we were talking about that Square site earlier. There's a lot of information on that site, by the way. The scholarship is for everyone, and I mentioned this earlier. It's regardless of your future plans. It is not just for someone who's going to a 4-year university. It's 2 or 4-year. Technical schools, military, or undecided, because Jacob just wanted to put people on their path and help guide them. You obviously can hear that through who he was. So the deadline for the scholarship application is tomorrow night, April 1st at 10 p.m.
April 1st for the girls. So the boys, we had to change the due date on. The boys' senior night is actually Wednesday.
Okay.
So we already have, it's a secret, I can't give it out, but we already have our 3 winners for the Fox team.
Okay.
So that the boys are done. So the girls have been submitting their scholarship applications, and it is for any senior who plays on either the Fox or the Jaguar team. Because lacrosse isn't all through all the schools,
right,
we do have kids from other schools. So as long as they're on the team, it doesn't matter what school they're at. If they're on one of those teams, they are eligible, regardless of what their future plans are.
And back when he was playing, the girls weren't playing back then, were they?
No.
What does he think? What do you think he thinks about the girls?
Oh, I think he loves it.
Yeah, it sounds like
I think he would love it. Absolutely.
It's a tough sport.
It is.
I don't want to get hit with the ball.
We also have a feeder team that was named in his honor, and they're called the Blue Jays.
Okay.
And the Blue Jays, I think, run 2nd through 8th grade. Okay. And Coach Rob Nash also runs that team as well. So we have the little guys that end up turning into our high school guys and girls.
Yeah.
And yes,
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Again, so many opportunities and so much that Jacob is continuing to do. See, that's what we want. And I obviously thank you for your rawness. Thank you for letting it go. And so Tracy and I had a really good discussion yesterday, and I'm glad we did, because she was really fearing doing this. And I said, no. We have to talk about his life, but we're not going to stay there because we don't want to stay in the pain. It's hard, but he would want you to laugh. He would want you to share these memories. And for all of you that had to bounce on and off, and I see a good 42 of you still on live right now, feel free to drop in comments throughout the rest of the day. Maybe something triggers a memory. Drop it in. I'll make sure that Tracy and Laura and the rest of the community get a chance to see that. If you have any questions about anything, drop those in as well. And then do us a favor as we wrap this up. Share this like crazy so people can have a memory of who Jacob was. Okay, so I gave you a little chance. Do you want her to pick or you want to pick?
I think she should pick.
Oh, look at you both.
I'll pick. I'll let you pick.
Jacob would pick what?
Let's do, what'd you say, fear and anxiety?
I knew it. So I was literally going to go like this.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the winner.
This is the one that's chosen a lot, by the way. So these are 100 days to freedom from, right? This one's already on day 60. A lot of these are still around 30. A lot of people have fear and anxiety. It leads to the other aspects of shame and anger and depression, right? But the fear and anxiety. Okay, so day 60, eternal relief is what we're going to do now. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are gone forever. This is Revelation 21, verse 4. If you've been carrying burden for years, your heart heavy with concerns for loved ones and worries about unresolved situations, you may feel like things will never get better. You may have had traumatic losses that have created unrelenting anxiety about your future. Our worries, our fears become a way of life that seems unending. God promises, though, to always be with you and to bear your burdens and to provide comfort. All you need to do is to surrender to him daily in prayer, your burdens, your cares, your concerns. That phrase, all you need to do, however, can feel like a ton of bricks sitting on your chest. It does sound simple. It's not. It can be so hard to even express what's in your hearts. However, if you begin by praying about just one thing that worries you, not to overwhelm you, but one thing at a time, continue with that practice, you will soon find that sharing your heart with the Lord on a daily basis actually brings you comfort. You know, we have the promise of eternal relief in the presence of God when we are with him forever in eternity. But until then, you can depend on his presence for strength and comfort as you continue on your journey here on earth. To begin to experience his relief today, you need to pray about everything that's on your heart and mind and then look for the comfort in him. Lucy Swindle said, whether our fear is absolutely realistic or out of proportion in our minds, our greatest refuge is Jesus Christ. Martin Luther said, I have held many things in my hands and I have lost them all. But whatever I have placed in God's hands, that I still possess. Ooh, that one gave me a chill.
Me too.
Atlas Willard said, the ultimate freedom we have as human beings is the power to select what we will allow or require our minds to dwell upon. This one really fit with today. Today's prayer, Lord, I bring my whole heart to you today, trusting that you are with me in my struggles and that in all these things you will provide your love and care for me. Thank you for your faithfulness and your promise of eternal hope.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
That's awesome.
That was a perfect.
So many, many times I believe that it's chosen from above. Even though I give you the choice, it's eerie sometimes where we're like, that's what we're talking about, right? It's
I would
crazy.
have gone purple.
You would have too?
100%.
Yep. A lot of times it's the color, but a lot of times it is the fear and anxiety. I can't thank you enough for sharing the story. And to any of you that struggle, as we just heard about, it's okay. However, don't do it alone. So I know that a community, obviously this large, has circled around you and clothed you in their comforts as much as they can and hopefully continue to do so. So again, I hope you come out and give and show the money on Saturday night. We gave you all the information. Be sure to look in the moderation. Jenny, thank you so much for everything that you've dropped in, whether it's for the scholarship aspect or getting your tickets tonight, $20. That wraps up, and then it's $25 at the door. 200 tickets have been sold already, but they can go up to 300. So let's just pack the house and show them the money. Do me a favor, please, ladies, and follow up and let me know how the night went and how much was raised. And well, let's just keep this going. Jacob, thank you for what you're doing from above. And again, so sorry that your life was taken so soon, but wow, have you done a lot. And what an incredible story that you shared with us of how he saved somebody else, and who knows how many others that he saved. Michelle just said, thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing Jake with us. Michelle Harmon, who, of course, all of you know and love, and she's the one that connected us.
Yes.
Here's the thing we want to wrap up with, though, because God's timing is everything. Tracy said that Angie, who's watching, actually was wanting you to be on my show a year ago, but you weren't ready.
I wasn't.
It wasn't time.
It wasn't time.
Today was.
It
Thank
just
you.
worked out. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing us to come on here and share the story about my beautiful boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The communities, everybody's.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Jacob, thank you for what you've given us today, and looking forward to big things to come as he continues to guide. Everybody, thank you so very much. Tomorrow, we're going to do a little Gen Talk. We started this back in December. My goal moving forward, speaking of which, so you've got a 14-year-old kid, right? How did he connect with his aunt and his mom and others? Sounds like he connected really, really well, but sometimes that doesn't happen. How do we get generations to respect generations? My whole thing is I want them to say who they are and send me videos and say, I just wish this generation understood this about my generation. Well, the latest fight, and it's making me laugh, but I look forward to hearing more about this, is between millennials and Gen Z. Evidently, they don't like each other. And the latest argument is about gym clothes. And what one thinks you should wear in the gym when you're working out and what the other one thinks,
man, that's
right?
a good
We're
one.
going to drop that in tomorrow. And I want you to, tomorrow I want it to be really, really interactive. Tomorrow we're going to laugh together. And then we'll hopefully come to respect for each other. So if you have you want to send me a message, you want to send me a little video clip, I've got a few people working behind the scenes right now, dropping in some things. I'd like people to fall into both groups, a Gen Z and a millennial. And you can tell us about that, but also, why can't you just get along? Why can't we all just get along? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We're here for you every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. So I hope that you're here as well. We couldn't do it without the community, couldn't do it without our incredible sponsors. So thank you to each and every one of you. And one of the things that you did today is showed kindness to these ladies. And that's what I asked you to do. It's the greatest thing you can do is to show kindness. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow.